Come bust a move where the games are played. It's chill, it's fresh, it's
Play on!
Hey, listen!
I'm Commander Shepard.
Let's do this.
I think we're just getting started. I think there's some school children down the way you can go and find.
Hello, and again.
Get over here!
Welcome, everybody, to episode 67 of the Play On podcast on PlanetArbitrary.com. I am your host, Pat B. of Pat's Retro Video Game Reviews on PlanetArbitrary.com. And joining me tonight, as always,
Annie.
That's it. Anthony's not here. It's both of us. It's us.
It's us.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
It's funny because this is the late cast.
This is like way too late for
recording
us.
pretty late at night.
I'm going to tell you that right now, the current time is 8:22 p.m., and I'm usually sleeping now.
Yeah.
For about 2 hours.
Like 90 minutes tops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but sleeping either way.
Yeah.
But we're great. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I've been staying up a little bit later because I've been quite wired. I've been busy at work. Lots going on. We got C2E2 coming up.
Oh my God.
But I've also started enjoying beverages from Starbucks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you were
Pat.
telling us
Once
that.
in a while, only when I need it. Only when I
Yeah.
feel that I need it.
But it's the one that doesn't taste at all like coffee, right?
No. It's like chocolate,
Yeah.
chocolate milk
Yeah,
coffee.
what is it?
Essentially, it is a grande mocha
Frappuccino?
breva
Oh, I don't know. I don't know coffee.
with an extra pump of chocolate with caramel drizzle.
Oh, my God.
It's a super white drink.
My gosh, that sounds delicious.
It's really good. It's good, and it has some overtones of coffee flavoring in it. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it tastes like chocolate milk.
Oh, my God.
Essentially, hot cocoa. It's
Yeah.
basically hot chocolate. So,
That
and
sounds
the
amazing.
people at Starbucks know this. So when I have to order this thing and I have to stumble through the order, the sequence of items I need in this beverage, they look at me like they even asked me. One guy even asked me, he's like, "How did you come up with that?" And I was like, "Well, somebody
Introduced
else
you to it.
came up with that drink for me." And they're like,
Right.
"Why?" And I was like, "Because I hate coffee." And they're like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I don't like coffee." And I was like, "But the person,
It's gross.
Yeah, the person recommended I should drink this drink because the way that it is constructed, it should erase the coffee flavor." And the guy's like, "That's exactly what it does.
Oh,
is
yeah.
it erases the coffee flavor."
Oh, my gosh.
So, but going to Starbucks, I just want to say that is a weird place.
You're part of the elite society now.
Yeah. Now
I've-
you're high society, as my
You
grandmother
need to
would
bring your
say.
MacBook in there.
Yeah,
Park it in
what?
the corner.
So I'm in there like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What are those people doing in Starbucks at 6 a.m.
Those are screenplay writers.
with their laptops
Yeah.
They're
open?
writing screenplays.
Yeah.
What is going on in
I
Starbucks?
feel like those are not real people. They're hired actors that are.
Yeah.
They're just
That's
part of
probably
because they are there every fucking minute of the day.
Yeah.
Every minute. You can go into any Starbucks anytime, and there's always that one guy in the corner with the hipster glasses on his MacBook.
the free
typing
Wi-Fi.
feverishly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the free Wi-Fi, or it's the paycheck that they get from Starbucks.
Yeah, or that.
Well, and there's that, and there's just the wave of judgment that you feel when, like, I definitely am an
Absolutely.
outsider being a tourist in the Starbucks world, and when I'm there, they can spot me right away.
They smell you.
Yeah, and when I speak and I say my order, they know that I'm an outsider. And people look at me, they go up and they rattle off their fucking order, whatever the hell it is, really quick, and I'm stumbling through it like,
You're like, I'll have the hot chocolate, coffee in it.
Number 5. Can I see a picture or something? So it's, I feel the judgment when I'm there, and I'm just like, what? I just want to, like, what is going on with you people?
Yeah.
This is just a coffee place. You're taking this far too seriously.
That's why my beverage of choice in the morning is Diet Coke.
Yeah.
There's no judgment in my refrigerator.
You're a salt of the earth kind of girl.
But I'll say the feeling from coffee, like the little buzz, the jolt, the wake up that you get from it is far better than Monster.
It's more
or
natural.
pop or
I mean, that's
something.
why I do heroin. That's why I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I'd rather.
Just go
Cane.
straight
I
for
don't-
this.
Cane, nose
Yeah.
candy.
Go straight for the smack.
Yeah.
Smack wake.
No, Diet Coke.
Wake and
That's
smack.
my hardest drug is Diet Coke.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've just.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
C2E2 has a Starbucks in it, so you're there.
Don't
you go.
worry. Yeah,
No,
McCormick Place.
I use it as a tool. Like when I feel like I need like an extra boost to get through something, like in the morning if I'm just not up for the day, then I'll do it. So I've only done it a few times. I've only gone a handful of times, but every time I go in there, it's just the same.
It's worth like the $12 you pay.
Well, yeah. Well, that and I want to grab the guy, the old man in the biker speedos and the windbreaker that's sitting there. I just want to grab him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
what are
you
you
have a
doing
family. There's
Go
people that
home.
want to spend time with you. Like, why are you here? Like, what? And I want to ask the people that work there too. I just want to be like, what's that guy's deal?
Do you
Yeah,
like
why,
it here?
Why is this guy here?
Because I thought it was weird at my old job where people would do that, but I guess it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of C2E2, yes,
Oh my gosh.
Big plans
you won't
for
need,
C2E2.
You won't need Starbucks for C2E2 because
Yeah.
you'll just be like running on adrenaline.
it will be so exciting. We've got a lot of stuff going on for C2E2. We will be at C2E2. The entire Planet Arbitrary crew will be at C2E2.
And remember, if you can identify us by our voices, then you get a hearty handshake.
Yes, and
That's
I do
it.
want to say congratulations to the winner of our giveaway on the last episode, Tony G.
Tony Danza.
Yeah, Tony
Hold
G.
me closer, Tony Dance.
That's the song. That's it.
Tony G won the final pair of 3-day passes to C2E2 in Chicago at McCormick Place.
Yes.
So he's going. He's all set up to go
You're bringing
all
a
3
hot
days.
chick.
Yeah, hot, some American
For
foxes.
your mom.
So yeah, Tony won the last pair. We gave away many passes throughout the last month and a half
We
or so
did.
to get people to go to the expo. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of people there. Lots of celebrities to see. Lots of
man.
vendors to visit.
Heard the
lots of
Green
stuff to
Ranger's
look at.
going to be there.
Well, he said all of them.
Yeah,
Just saying.
and he's got a little green laser pointer. So when you're waiting in line, he hits people.
Does
with
he
his
really?
laser.
Does he
Yes,
really?
he does.
What a dick.
He beams people with it.
My
when
old
we were at the Indiana Comic-Con, the guy who plays Khal Drogo was there.
Yeah.
And the guy's going to play Aquaman is there. And so my sister came with us. Christina came with. And so he came out from his lunch break. So he comes through the curtain and he's still chewing his lunch. And she's like, you guys, he's chewing food. Like,
He's eating food just like us.
he's eating food just like us. That's kind of how I was the first time that I went to one of the conventions too. Because it's like, oh my God.
And you had a whole conversation with who was the one guy, Joey Lawrence?
Joey Lawrence, because I went to high school with his cousin,
Oh,
and so
jeez.
and nobody was in his line. The poor guy. Nobody cares about Blossom anymore. So, so we were chatting and chatting. So I just walked right up. I was like, I don't want your autograph. I just want to tell you that I went to high school with your cousin. so you get all jittery around the celebrities. It's very fun.
Celebs.
Yeah, it's. I'm very starstruck.
Yeah.
I know Joe made fun of me the first time I went to Comic-Con. We were all there, and right when we walked in, the first person I saw was Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh,
And
yeah.
me, I didn't know the etiquette of the convention and that they're there. You're supposed to pay them money for interaction and whatnot. And I just walked up and was like, "How you doing, Louis?" and shook his hand.
God.
And he smiled and he shook my hand and he was very nice. And then I just walked away. And Joe was just like, "You can't do that. Like,
just broke the rules.
you can't just walk up and do that.
Oh,
like they're
Joe
here."
is whatever.
You can't-
Joe breaks every rule of conventions that
Yes,
there is.
Joe of Game Classy.
Joe just
yes.
says that if you walk confidently into a room, then nobody will question you. So,
There's been-
my
yeah.
embarrassing celebrity story. This is the most embarrassing one. As a kid, I've still to this day never seen the Neverending Story, and I have no interest in seeing it. So
somewhere something the system failed you.
I guess, yeah.
The
So-
80s system
The
failed
80s
you.
system failed me. So we go up to, I don't even know what the guy's name is. We go
I
up
don't
to
know,
the guy.
Atreyu.
Atreyu. Okay. So we go up to the guy who plays Atreyu. And I don't know why were we, because wasn't he in the tattoo
He's in
area?
the tattoo parlor area. Like, he
Yeah.
wasn't as a celebrity. He was there, like, doing tattoos.
So we were over there. And so I figure he's just a tattoo artist, like he's just standing there. So I'm talking and stuff. And he's got pictures on his table. I'm like, oh, this is you. And he's like, mm-hmm. I was like, oh, are you famous? Like, I had no idea. Like, I just felt like the biggest asshole after. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, are you this kid that was from this movie? And he's like, mm-hmm.
And I'm
I was
just, like,
he's
slowly
like,
backing
Anthony-
away into the bush. I'm
Anthony
like,
hates awkward situations. He's like, I'm sure he was like, we need a divorce
get
right
the
now.
fuck out of here right now.
It's
Fucking
so
Atreyu
awkward.
is going to kill
It's
you.
so awkward.
I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened to Atreyu.
But I mean, like, and he was so friendly, like you say, like he was so friendly, like he didn't make me feel like an asshole. I just made
Probably
myself
thought you were
feel
hitting
like
on
an
him.
Yeah.
Oh, I was married, so
Well, in just a few days, you have another opportunity to create a whole new set of
I can't
awkward
wait.
memories with
I can't wait.
with the famous
Well,
folk.
one of the best C2E2 memories was
Poor
it was your
Tillo.
first year, I believe, Ann.
yeah.
And we were walking through Artist Alley, and all of a
yes.
sudden, Shia LaBeouf shows up.
Yeah,
And
the beef.
The beef just shows up. One of his girlfriends was like doing art there. And so like Annie just like walked up and like started
Well,
interviewing
so he-
him and talking to him, and he was like coked out of his mind.
Oh my god. Well, we walked up because were you there that day?
Yeah, I was there. I walked because you guys
'Cause you were
found
the
me,
one
and
that, you were the one that told us that he was there.
yeah, you found me, and you're like, "Hey, Shia LaBeouf is just like right back there."
Right
so I
there.
was in the line to actually meet Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
So I went and did that, and then I went back to Artist Alley where he was just a dude that was just there.
Yeah,
It
he was just like he was. I mean, like he paid for the table. He was one of the artists there
Yeah.
because he was with his girlfriend. But I said, well, I'm with this podcast. I'm with the press. Is it okay if I interview him? And so there was this huge line, and his publicist or someone was like, okay, yeah, come on, right up here. So they hopped me up to the front of the line, and if you ask me what we talked about, I have no fucking.
I found
clue.
the video recently. I'll post it
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Oh my god.
yeah.
My
have
only
no
celeb
idea.
moment that I can recall at a convention was when I saw Sean Astin walking by, and this was right after Lord of the Rings came out. And he walked by, and I was in line waiting to see Kevin Smith, and I screamed, "You are the best Hobbit!" And he turns around, he just smiles, and he goes, "Thanks, kid." And I was
Oh my
like,
God.
"Holy shit!"
Thanks, Sean Astin.
Thanks, Sean.
I think my favorite celebrity interaction was at Comic-Con Wizard World in Chicago at Donald E. Stevens Convention
Yeah.
Center. My first one. It was actually my first one. At the VIP party that we somehow
right.
managed
We
to get
crashed
into.
into?
Yeah, we somehow got into
Shit,
that.
I will never forget that.
And I remember being...
Adrian Curry.
Adrian Curry, yes. We saw her all over the place.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. We got to meet him. But then we also... at the mini bar that was up there, I saw Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, the famous WWF wrestler. And I used to watch WWF when I was a little kid, so I used to see the $1 Million Man all the time. So 30-year-old me sees that, I'm like, oh my god, it's Ted DiBiase. So I walked up to him and I talked to him a little bit, and he was very, very nice. And he was having a beer, and I was having a beer, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm having a drink.
Oh my god.
fucking $1
Meanwhile,
Million
Joe
Man.
and I are taking pictures with Felicia Day. Like it's just like we just kind of like hung out with
Is
some
that one
celebs.
of the times
Yeah.
that you walked in confidently to
That
somewhere
was the
that you
second
weren't
time
invited?
that we broke into
Yeah.
a celeb party.
But it was what happened though.
Shouldn't be talking about that. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This was before Planet Arbitrary.
before,
Please
yes.
understand that.
But after I got done talking, Ted was like, well, I got to get going. I'm sure he was trying to push me away. But I walked away from him, and I got back in line to get another drink. And while I was waiting in line, a guy came up to me, and he's like, hey, who were you just talking to? And I was like, that was Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. He's like, who's that? And I was like, the famous pro wrestler from the WWF, like Hulk Hogan and all those guys. He was one of those guys. He's like, oh, is that like The Rock? And I was
Sorta.
like, yeah, but like
guess.
from the 80s. And he's like, oh, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And the guy walked away from me. And I think it was Joe, or maybe even another person in line came up to me and they're like, who was that? Do you know who you were talking to just then? And I was like, oh, just some guy asked me who I was talking to. I was telling him about the $1 Million Man, and he said he doesn't really watch a lot of TV, so he didn't see WWF and everything. And he's like, oh, because that was Mike TV from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Oh
Factory.
my
Yeah, that's
god!
right.
Are you
That's
kidding?
was-
right. All
and it
of
was-
the
yeah, they were
bunch
all
of
there.
cast was there.
Are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding? Because
No.
we were dating.
I
then, weren't we?
forgot.
We were dating then because you
But
told
you
me.
weren't there.
No,
Yeah.
I wanted to be there because I was like,
That's right, I forgot.
Because I grew up on that movie. I love
Yeah.
that movie.
And I was like, well, the guy just told me he doesn't watch a lot of TV. And he's like, he probably does that to a lot of people.
Mike TV doesn't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
Mike TV. God damn it! I wish you would have been there.
I would have seriously. I would have been like, Pat, this is way more important than your $1 million bullshit.
That's
okay?
like when
It
we
was,
were
yeah.
talking to Anthony Michael Hall. He was like the. He was just like, yeah, come in here, bro. And he was like, it's like he was like such a dude. Like it was like the
Because he
exact
made like the
opposite.
biggest transformation
Yeah.
from the time he was in like.
He went from
16
being
Candles.
the nerdiest kid to like, yo, come here, bro. And we're gonna take a picture. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
It
Thanks.
was good times. There's been some good
great
convention
time.
moments.
Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh,
Yeah.
you guys fly into Chicago for C2E2,
Yeah, I
please,
can't wait.
because
Yes.
It'll be a great
C2E2
weekend.
is just it's better than Christmas.
It's the best weekend of
better
the
than
year.
my birthday.
Yeah,
It's
so
better than
great.
every other weekend.
Better
of the
than
whole year.
your birthday.
Yeah.
Better than
Your
anybody's
birthday.
fucking birthday, unless your
So
birthday is this
Tony
weekend.
Danza, congratulations on those
Good
passes.
job,
Yeah.
Tony Danza.
So, video games.
Let's
though,
talk video
guys.
games, Pat.
Yeah, video games. There's been some stuff over the last couple of weeks.
A few things.
Some unveilings, some trailers, some games announced, some games coming back, being resurrected. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. I know people are talking that it's a very PS2-esque type of time right now because these are all PS2 titles.
Sure.
But there's been a lot going on. I know you're a big fan of the Harmonix games,
boy,
the
I'll
guitar,
tell ya.
the Activision, the Guitar Heroes.
Oh, yes.
So I guess you've been fairly excited.
Been extremely excited. I'll tell you, Guitar Hero on the PS2, it was right in the height of the Wii popularity, and you couldn't find a Wii. And I remember Eric and I were living together at the time, and we were like, should we buy a Wii? And we couldn't find it, and we just like settled and decided to go to GameStop and buy a used PlayStation 2 and Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
And my God, I don't know if I've been hooked on a game as much as like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So ever since then, I've been a huge fan of those games. Guitar Hero, I played guitar before that, but like that just kind of took me to a whole new level of getting back into it. And Rock Band, I swear to God, like I thought I was going to be a drummer for a while after the drumming.
Yeah, you
of
got
the
really
guitar.
good.
Shit, I loved that.
Yeah.
So, and then those games, so Rock Band came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 2, 3. And so anyway, so those games were very popular, obviously. And then now we've just heard some announcements. Particularly, I'm going to talk about Guitar Hero because it looks really fucking exciting.
Yeah.
It's called Guitar Hero Live. It's not made by Harmonix because they do Rock Band now. But it's made by the studio that did DJ Hero 1 and 2. Never played them, whatever. But they're doing some cool things with it. They've redone the guitar, so it's challenging, but it's a little easier because now instead of having those colored frets all the way down, I think there were like 5 of them, there's only 2 rows of 3 buttons, and they're all at the very top of the neck. So it kind of is styled so that you're doing more chord-like finger and hand gestures, but you're not sliding all over the guitar, which is really tough when you're like staring at the screen and you're trying not to like lose your place. So they're mixing it up. So they've redesigned the guitar. They've also completely redone like the whole interaction with the game. So now everything is taken from a first-person perspective.
Yes.
So, and it's all shot like a video game from the Sega CD. It's like everything is full motion video in the background.
It's live. It's a real crowd.
It's a live, insane crowd. But what's really cool how they did it is kind of like in the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. If you do poorly, the crowd reacts to you doing poorly, and your band reacts to you. But because it's all first-person perspective, as you're playing the notes and you're like seeing your band, they're like, if you're fucking up, they're like, "What are you doing?" And the crowd is like booing you. And then as you start to do good again, it's like they do these really creative, seamless like cuts into like really making you feel like the crowd is live and interacting with you. It's really cool how they're doing it. And some people are really criticizing it. They're saying like, "Oh, this looks like it's a game from the 90s or whatever." And,
Yeah.
And you know, I can understand that. It looks really cool. And there was a demo I watched where these guys were playing, and they were playing into like a huge, like 100,000 people stadium. And the guys were like, I feel like nervous because you start the song, you're backstage, and you like walk up, you walk past, the backstage, and you go out, and there's like this huge fucking crowd. I mean, they're like, this really gets you kind of like amped up. So I'm really excited for it. It's also exciting because they're doing something where they're putting the game on pretty much anything that can play a video game. It's going to be on the current systems. It's going to be on the old systems. It's going to be on tablets. It's going to be on, they said they're even going to stream it to like devices. Like, I don't even know. They're putting it onto basically anything because of the way that they're that full motion video and the service, like how they're doing it. So you're going to be able to play it anywhere. So that's really exciting because I could have the game on the iPad, bring it somewhere, plug it into the TV, and just, rock out with the guitar. They're also doing something which I don't know the details of, but it's something like they're creating like a channel. And you go to the channel, and it's 24 hours a day. There's different or it's like a network, and it has different channels, and you could be like, oh, I want to go to the rock channel, and there's music playing all the time, and then you could just jump in at any point and play that song.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It'd be like, oh, I want to go do the country channel or whatever, and you just jump in, and it's like a whole live, and it's always changing. So it seems like they're trying to do some really cool stuff and keep people engaged playing the game continuously. So
it's a better way of delivering additional content for
Yes.
Guitar Hero, because people just gobble up songs in those games. It's just a better way of streaming new songs instead of constantly releasing tons of DLC, tons of this, tons of that. Just have a channel and just update that.
What I could end up seeing is it being like a subscription service. And like maybe you can opt to just play by the regular game, but you could do the subscription, and at any time you could cancel, but you have access to all these different channels, which it could be really cool.
Like a season pass.
Season pass, but literally a season pass.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if you were big into the Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I had a stint with it for sure. I played a lot of Guitar Hero. I played it on the Wii, and I liked doing the online battles, which was fun. I did get into Rock Band a little bit more. Definitely Beatles Rock Band for sure.
Yep,
and
I
at
really
one
love
point, I got, I would say, proficient at the drumming portion
Very nice.
of Beatles Rock Band.
Nice.
Until I broke the drum set, and then I haven't played since.
Damn.
Yeah. I like those games. They're a lot of fun, and I like the way the new Guitar Hero Live looks. I think it's very cool looking.
Yeah.
And I know people, like you said, bash it for looking very 90s-esque or full motion video. What is this, a Sega CD game?
Yeah.
It's that will go away when you see it on your 50-plus inch HD
Right.
screen.
And there's 100,000 people crowd. And
Yeah, and it looks good. The music sounds good. I think it's going to be very different when you see it that way.
Yeah.
I think that's a very... And I have read some things like that too. I think that's a very short-sighted
It seems like people
ignorant
are just very
critique
cynical on things.
of that particular game. The one thing though that I will bash, and it's not Guitar Hero, it's Rock Band 4.
Well, so I'm also excited for this, but what are you bashing?
Did you see who's publishing Rock Band 4?
Is it EA?
No,
No, who is it?
Mad Catz.
Oh, shut up.
Mad Catz is publishing Rock Band 4 with, and I have some specifics about this.
Of course they are, because they're going to make all the peripherals, aren't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're going to make all the Mad Catz is making all new instruments for Rock Band 4. They're also making, they're handling all the worldwide retail sales, promotion, and distribution, and Harmonix is going to handle all of the digital retail.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a Mad Catz game.
And that kind of makes sense because they make shitty peripherals, so they're going to make the shitty peripherals for that game. But I just read a statement saying that Harmonix wants to do compatibility with all the old gear. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm sure it's within the realm of possibilities. They can absolutely do that stuff, but. Mad Catz, nothing against Mad Catz. I just do not have a favorable opinion of Mad Catz
I've just
peripherals.
never seen a really high quality peripheral from them.
Exactly. It's always something kind of cheap and cheesy looking.
Clear
and,
plasticky and
yeah, and they don't feel good. They don't work properly sometimes. It's just that I'm not a Mad Catz fan. So seeing Mad Catz be so heavily involved in the process of creating Rock Band 4 doesn't make me very excited for Rock Band 4. So
now, the only thing I will say that's exciting about Rock Band 4, if you are a Rock Band fan, is they're supposed to have all of your previous downloadable songs would transfer over, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Because that would suck if you had to rebuy all those song packs.
Exactly. And you know what? They probably thought of that because they were, looking at the existing catalog of content that's available for the game. They were probably like, people are going to be fucking pissed if they can't use this stuff. So
I will say, if you're listening and you're a fan of these music games, regardless of knowing how to play the guitar or not, you should really look into Rocksmith. I think I've talked about it on the podcast
absolutely.
before.
You've spoken highly about Rocksmith.
It's phenomenal, and it does a great job of not only teaching you how to play the guitar, but it's very fun, like a Rock Band or a Guitar Hero. But you're getting the added benefit of actually playing a real instrument. So really look at it, because the game itself is not expensive. Unfortunately, you have to have a guitar.
Yeah.
But if you know somebody or you go buy a cheap electric guitar, it's totally worth the investment. Andy, did you play Guitar Hero back in the day?
I did, but shockingly, I sucked at it.
Really?
So-
That's a game that screams like you would love it.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it.
Really?
Yeah.
But will you play the new one with me when we get
Yeah. Oh,
it?
absolutely. I'll try it again. Because it sounds a lot different. So yeah, totally.
But not even just doing the singing portion of
God,
Rock Band?
No, that's the worst part. I think we played Rock Band one time We were over at
it was
somebody's
Chris's.
house. Yeah, we were
We
over
played
at
the Beatles one,
we
I
were over
think.
at Chris's house, and that was awful. I just I'm
Forgot
like, fuck it,
about
I'll
that.
just watch. Yeah.
That's what I love about Rock Band. Rock Band is definitely the party game.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero was
Yeah.
I mean, Guitar Hero was for sure. Like you know,
Sort
people
of,
would be
but
jamming
really,
with
like
it, but
how many
Rock
people
Band.
could play?
No, but then you get that one guy that's like you. That's really good
good.
at the game and
And like
you know,
dominates.
yeah,
and
it just destroys.
nobody wants to play winner because you're just
Yeah.
gonna get your ass kicked by this guy.
Yeah, or even play at all because they're just like, well, how do I get to that level? It's frustrating.
I was watching some video and the guy was talking about how with Rock Band, they're like anybody who sings, it's always like the same where like everybody starts off and they're like really trying.
Yeah.
And then about 30 seconds in, all of a sudden it just turns into a high pitched kind of like screaming mess. And I'm like, that's totally true.
Well, because you actually see that meter, that voice meter.
And you're like, I'm nowhere near
you're
that.
trying to keep it level and
Yeah.
you're trying to follow it. So, yeah, I like those games, but yeah, Guitar Hero I think will be the winner between Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4.
I'm excited. It's coming out this fall. I mean, in the midst of a bunch of other really good games, but I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
I'll definitely get it.
nice. Let's see. Speaking of definitely gets, I was pretty excited. Annie showed me something I did not know about.
Oh my gosh, which is never that happens. Never.
Especially with this.
And I was pretty pumped to see it. What Annie being our resident
No, don't.
3DS expert
You
on
know
the
what?
podcast.
Don't. I was thinking about how you call me that. I don't know anything about Nintendo.
You have one.
I have.
yeah, and
I
you
have
play
a
it,
3DS.
and you
You're
actively play
you're the
it.
only active Nintendo person here.
Okay, but it's
You play Super Mario Brothers.
far from expert level. Far from expert level. Okay, so apparently there is a limited edition. I should have saved it wherever it was. Limited edition 3DS that looks like Super Nintendo. But then Pat goes, "Oh no, it's the blah 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 one," and I didn't know what those words meant.
Well, it is Super Nintendo, but it's the theme of it. It's based on the Super Famicom, which is the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo, which looks completely different from the American Super Nintendo.
Whereas I didn't recognize that, and I was like, "It looks like a Super Nintendo."
Yeah. Growing up, when I was a kid and Super Nintendo came out, my cousin was the resident expert on all things Nintendo, and he knew about the Super Famicom and through reading magazines and things like that. And so he had pictures of the Super Famicom and especially of the controller. The controller is identical to an American Super Nintendo controller, but there's one difference. The A, B, Y, and X buttons are not the purple buttons that we're used to here in America.
Right.
They're red, blue, and then there is a yellow
that's
button.
right, yeah.
There's a yellow button on there. So it was always find that controller with the
Golden
yellow button.
yellow
Like, I
button.
want to use that yellow button. So when I actually got my own Super Famicom for my game collection, I was more excited to just hold the controller and
touch that yellow
and
button.
just rub it and like run circles around it with my
Lick
fingers,
it.
just like I have
Kiss
you
it.
now, red yellow button. I'm gonna map everything to you.
Naughty. I'm gonna map everything to you.
So yeah, that's
Save this. I want to read more about it because I've heard, obviously there are other limited edition 3DSs. There was the
Zelda one.
the Zelda one.
Oh, there was the original Nintendo looking
Original
one, the NES
Nintendo.
looking
Yeah,
one.
yeah, there was that one too. I had a whole bunch.
So
The
I think
Majora's
there's a
Map
gold
one.
one, isn't there?
yeah.
Yeah.
But just wait until they release a Famicom, not Super Famicom, but a Famicom themed 3DS.
Oh,
Because the Famicom, which is
fans.
the Japanese brother of the NES, the original Nintendo in America, looks way different
Yeah.
than what we're used to seeing. It's a completely different system. It plays the same games, but the cartridges are completely different.
Totally
The
different.
console looks completely different. The controller is very, very different. So if they made a Famicom themed 3DS, I think I don't know.
I got to say I'm fine with my red.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the red one. I did want a black one
Yeah.
when I was at Fry's Electronics, but I felt like I had only earned a red. So
Now, next time on the next 3DS, are you going to buy one for playing and one for collecting
I don't know.
or reselling? Leave one in the wrapping.
I don't know. We're gonna have a kid then, which you do that kind of stuff, right? You collect too, so I
Yeah,
guess.
we
That's fine,
should have
right?
done that with Apple Watches. I realized
yeah.
we
Be a
pre-ordered our
filthy-
Apple Watches.
You-
We
you
should have
could
ordered
actually-
two and then sold one.
But you could be fair resellers, not.
No, I would fucking gouge.
Oh,
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
No, I like that idea. I think that'd be fun.
yeah.
Time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if I don't resell it, if I just save it like in original packaging, and if our kid is interested in that, be like, yeah, I saved this for you. This was for you. Listen, kid.
Listen, fucker.
Did a lot for you.
Listen, fucker.
We didn't build your credit at all, but
Nope.
there's a 3DS in the package.
No, sir. But here, you can have
Taking
this.
you right through college.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's exciting, though. I want to see all the little extras that are going to come with it. I want to see what the buttons and everything are going to look like. I imagine if they styled it to that level, I'm sure it has a yellow button on it.
It does. According to this person who has it on Reddit, after waiting for ages, it arrived.
Uh-huh.
So it exists, according to this person on Reddit. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's Nintendo. It'll sell out immediately.
Yeah, no one will own it.
Nope.
No one will own it.
Well,
Still going on. It's still going on. Though Steve of Game Classy was quite generous and made me aware of a special place online where I could pre-order
Black
a
market.
NES amiibo.
what?
Wow.
Yeah, I have a pre-order. I guess I have staked my claim to one. When it's released, I should get one at retail, so I'm not overpaying or anything like that.
Where
We'll
from?
see if it happens. I don't know if I want to divulge that
Okay. All
information.
right. No,
but
that's respectful.
yeah, Steve
That's fine.
Steve's texted me a link, and it was quite amazing.
Are
so,
you box lightning us right now?
No, I'm not going to bump it into my face the whole time.
Yeah,
I
playing
can
with
hear
the
your
microphone.
cord though.
Oh, I can hear you.
Fixed. Shit. That's Joe. Have to edit all of this out. Okay. Fixed.
Okay.
So yeah,
Can you hear me now?
so I'm pretty pumped for to see more pictures of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Nintendo will milk it.
Yeah,
It will milk all of the limited editions for all of the worth, but this one
Yeah.
looks awesome. A lot of
nice.
potential. Once they get a Kirby one, I'm gonna be all
you know what'll happen.
over that shit.
You know what'll happen.
Pink
You
one?
know I want a
You going to
Kirby
get a pink one?
Well, my red is kind of a light red. That's fine. It's kind of
Just leave it out in the sun for a little bit.
No. No, maybe I'll just take it like a Sharpie to it.
Just fade it out.
Good idea. Fade it.
Well, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on, new stuff as well. There's a new Mortal Kombat upon us.
So you played it.
Yeah, I did pick up the new Mortal Kombat X. I picked mine up just a few nights ago, and I actually picked it up on my way to Shang Tsungs Fight Night at Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois.
So awesome.
What?
Mortal
We're
Kombat.
so lucky to have that place.
It's
close.
crazy. I know. We're spoiled with it. Mortal Kombat Reunion 2, all the original motion capture actors from all the previous Mortal Kombat games were there. Our good friend Kerry Hoskins Branson, Sonya Blade from Ultimate Mortal Kombat was there. Jax was there. Daniel Pesina, Scorpion Johnny Cage was there. Carlos Pesina, who was Raiden, he was there. Sal DeVito, who was Cyrax and Nightwolf, he was there. I mean, there was just so many people there.
I just love how they're all local.
Yeah, they're all around.
Yeah.
Rich DeVizio was there, who was Kano. Leah Montalongo, who fucking Sindel. I mean, it was crazy. It was just nuts. They were all there, so I picked up the game before I went out there so I could have all of them sign my game, which they did so generously. Those are the nicest people in the world. The Mortal Kombat actors, nicest people
Yeah,
ever.
they're
so
cool.
nice. In addition to the Galloping Ghost staff, which is also incredibly nice. Doc, the owner of Galloping Ghost, does a great job out there. Put on an awesome event. Tons of people turned out. There was a huge line, but they did a really good job of moving it along. Got through pretty quick. I went with Joe. Joe of Game Classy came along, and he indulged me with my just crazy fanboyism over Mortal Kombat.
Probably had a few comments, a few little things.
Yeah, he came by the line once in a while and,
Said stuff.
Yeah, little jabs here and there, and then moved on and
Classic.
played Bubble Bobble and stuff like
Joe.
that. Yeah. But it was fun. I did have a moment where at one point I was in the line and I got to the point where I was standing directly in front of the women's bathroom. Mm-hmm. And while I'm standing there, Leah Montalongo, who was Sindel, comes walking up with her daughter, and the daughter goes in the bathroom, and then Leah stands right outside the bathroom door, kind of keeping guard, because it's a single bathroom. And so I'm kind of
You're like, hey,
face to face with her, and I recognized her. So I was just like, hi.
Oh, God.
And she looked at me, and she looks at me, and she just goes, hi.
Oh, God.
And I was like,
Oh, my God.
This is awkward. And so then the daughter comes out.
And it's not like you could go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I was just right there. Her daughter comes out. She goes in, uses the bathroom. And while she's in there, I tell some of the people behind me, I was like, that's Leah Montalongo. I was like, she was in the game. She was Sindel. And so they're like, "Are you serious?" Like they didn't recognize her.
Bust down the door.
Exactly. Yeah. So she comes out and they're all like, "Hi, Leah," and she turns around and says hello. She was very, very nice. But once I got through the line and got up to where everyone was signing and everything like that, I saw her and I was just like, "Hi." And she's like, I was like, "Hi, I'm the one that awkwardly said hello to you at the bathroom." And she's like, "I know."
Oh God.
And then she goes, "Would you like a signed picture?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I brought some toilet paper from the bathroom.
Can I smell your armpits?
Anthony loves awkward situations.
Fuck, I hate it so much.
Oh my God. Sometimes when we're watching TV, he's like, we need to turn it off. I can't even watch this. It's so awkward. I can't even look at it. It's so awkward.
Too much.
Yeah, it was.
He would have died.
I nearly did. I was like, "How did this happen? This is not how I handle my celebrity interactions and stuff." It was so weird.
That's like Chris. Joe always gives Chris shit because we were at one of the conventions and he saw Trisha Helfner, I think's her name, the girl from Battlestar Galactica, the blonde one, and she walked by and Chris just goes, "Hey." Like we always make fun of him because it was just like that awkward, like, "Hey."
Yeah, it was awkward, definitely awkward. But she was very, very nice about it, though, and everyone was super nice. They did photographs. I mean, it was crazy. So
that's awesome.
It's a great event.
And
then
they signed your game.
Yeah, every single one of them. Everybody that was there.
That's so cool.
Signed my Mortal Kombat X game. So I took out the insert, the fold, so it wasn't on the plastic. I know someone called me out on that, and they're like, "Is it on top of the plastic?" I was like, "Do you think
this is my first day?"
Same, my first rodeo.
You know, there were 9 or 10 people there signing. When I opened up the game, when I took all the plastic wrapping off, and then I opened it up so I could make some slack, so I could slide that insert out, and I saw how cool the MKX game disc looks. It is the Mortal Kombat Dragon, the logo that you're used to, but in black and white, and it covers the entire disc.
That's awesome.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at first I was like, "Oh my God," I was like, "I should have him sign the game disc."
Wow.
And people were like, "That's a great idea, but you could never play that game.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to go get another copy."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "You know what? I'll just do the insert."
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
So, but the game disc is very, very cool.
That's
But
awesome.
you did get all of them to sign it?
Every single one of them.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Does it cost money for that?
No, it was totally free. Well, money to get into the arcade, so
Right.
it was $10 or $15 for the standard
That's so
fee,
cool.
so I could play all the games. But to meet everybody and get all the signatures and everything like that, and then talk to people, they were so like Rich DeVizio, who played Kano. He brought a prop heart so he could pose with people
so cool.
holding the heart up in the air. It was insane.
That's so cool.
So it was a very cool event. And then afterwards, I took my game home, and then I got to play Mortal Kombat X, which is very, very cool. They do a lot of cool things in this one. There's multiplayer, of course. The combo heavy fighting system is in place. There's lots of cool finishing moves. The fatalities are incredibly gruesome. All the X-ray moves are incredibly gruesome. The game does not hold back at all. There's many different game modes. There's living towers where you can do traditional, towers where you do single player. You can do online, easy. And all the characters are there. Everyone from the entire Mortal Kombat universe is in this game.
Did you pre-order to get Goro?
I did not, though he is on the character select screen. If you didn't pre-order, he appears, and then it says purchase Goro now, which I was a little disappointed that that shows up in the character select screen.
Yeah,
I feel it's kind of cheap.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
sure
It
is.
just gives
It'd be like saying purchase Scorpion now.
yeah, it's just kind of a
you.
weird vibe. But there are some updates that have been released already that have provided like new costumes for Sub-Zero and stuff like that. Sub-Zero is kind of a focus of this game for some reason. He's a big deal. But all the moves are very, very cool.
Do you know why? I think on the cover of the PlayStation 4 box, it's Scorpion. And then on the Xbox One...
Oh, it's Sub-Zero?
Or I'm sorry, flip that. It's Sub-Zero on the PlayStation 4 and it's Scorpion on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's... And those two are back in all of their glory. All of their moves are insane. There's different types of fighting styles you can choose before you go into a fight. So you can fight as either more defensive, you can use the projectile attacks... or a more type of grapple moves, depending on who it is. So,
do you recommend that game for a person who doesn't like fighting games?
I thought about that because if you're not familiar with the fighting system that's in Mortal Kombat as it's evolved over the years, I think and I know some people will be like, "This is crazy to say." But I almost feel like Street Fighter would be a better place to start.
Really?
Yeah, because Mortal Kombat
that seems like the most intimidating one.
It is. It can be, but it's also a little bit more forgiving. I feel Mortal Kombat is just so reliant upon combos, and I know Street Fighter is the same way. I know Street Fighter is like that too, but Mortal Kombat, things actually come to a stop if you fuck up a combo or you can't go into it. You kind of awkwardly bounce around the screen, whereas in Street Fighter, two people that have never played a fighting game before can at least get around and do a good fight, and it looks it's entertaining.
Like
it's entertaining on the screen. Now, that being said, that's probably a horrible comparison for some people to hear. They're like, this guy is
He doesn't know what he's doing.
fucking moron.
Play dive kick.
Yeah, dive kick is a good place to start if you're not used to it. But yeah, no, and it's fun anyways. There's a lot to look at. There's lots of interactive things in the backgrounds in each level. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can parkour off stuff. I mean, I grabbed a guy out of the background and threw him at the person I was fighting. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's very cool. A lot of the grappling moves are very, very cool.
Are the fatalities where like you have to mash in the button combo at a certain time to get it to work, or is it more forgiving now?
You have a little bit more time, but it's still, you have to put in the proper button sequence in order to do it. They are incredibly, incredibly gruesome.
I've seen some videos. It's crazy.
They do not hold back. I mean, Kung Lao probably has the best one where he takes his hat off, throws it into the ground, and it turns into a huge buzzsaw. And then you kick the person down face first and push them over the hat, and it splits the head in half.
Oh my god.
And in all HD PS4 glory, it just pulls it
I saw
off.
the video of the one, and I forget which female character it was, but she does the splits, uppercuts the guy's genitals, and you see the 3D of his testicles exploding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the X-ray moves are crazy in this game too, that are like that. It's nuts. But the game looks good. It plays good. Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. There's neat little things from previous games that they do callbacks to, like the hidden fights. If you get 2 flawless victories, I think on your 7th fight you unlock a secret battle with Reptile.
Nice.
Which is very, very cool.
In the pit.
No, it's not in the pit. There's a lot of cool places that you fight in this game, but the pit wasn't there. Maybe that'll be something that comes along in the future. But so yeah, it's a pretty sweet game. I would recommend if you're into fighting games, definitely check it out. And it's definitely worth picking up.
How many arbitraries do you give it?
Well, right now I haven't played it a ton.
Review in progress.
Yeah, review in progress. But right now it's a solid 4 planet arbitraries for sure.
Nice.
Solid 4 for sure.
Good.
So, and speaking of reviews in progress or arbitraries, you have been spending a lot of time with Grand Theft Auto on PC.
Of course, yeah. 3rd time I bought it.
Yeah.
It gets a 5 out of 5. It's definitely definitely the way to play it, and it's the same fantastic
that's
game.
all he's been doing.
Why would it not get
There's just something great about that game on PC. I mean, it's so smooth. It seems to scale very well. Everything I've read, people, no matter really what their system, they can get it to run at a good frame rate. It just looks great no matter what. I mean, and so the thing with the previous 2 times that I bought it is I've only got like a quarter of the way into the game. So I'm pretty close to where I usually get, and I'm planning on surpassing it because I can game stream it. I can play it anywhere. I can play it while we're watching TV, and it's a fucking great game.
Have you used any of the mods?
I've not. I know that it's difficult to mod right now, so there's not a lot.
Yeah.
What I've experienced, the only negative thing I'll say about it is when you're in a mission, and the missions are quite long. I mean, like they're drawn out over multiple things. Using the controller while you're in a mission, if you get into a vehicle and you pull the left bumper button, which is like aim out of the vehicle, the game instantly crashes.
Really?
Crashes to desktop. And so it's all over like the Rockstar forums. It's online. It's like a well-known bug. So it kind of sucks because when you're playing the mission, if you want to finish the mission, you just can never push that button.
Yeah.
So anytime that there's something that requires you to shoot out the car, you kind of like are screwed.
I kind of feel like that's something that should have been
a pretty big bug.
That should have been noticed.
It's a pretty big bug. So it sucks because they put out a couple patches already, and none of the patches have fixed that particular issue. But it's like really fucking frustrating because like it was like the first heist mission that you do, and I was like all the way to the end where you're in like the sewer or whatever, and you're like on the dirt bikes, and like all the way to that point, and then I fucking pull the button and I crashed. I'm like, God damn it! It's like, so now I know never to pull that button when I'm in a mission.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So just a little warning if you have it on PC.
Now, what settings have you been able to run at?
I got it on max everything.
Max everything? Game performs well?
Game performs smooth 60 frames for me, even with streaming it. Max everything except anti-aliasing I have turned down because I don't notice a difference when it's streaming and it's on a smaller screen. There's some advanced settings that I think the advanced settings are more of like the future proof, where it's
Yeah.
like 5 years from now you could play that game, you could turn up those advanced settings and really see some cool shit. I don't have those on.
Well, I saw NVIDIA is all over. I know they just released
yeah.
like a custom driver pack for
Yeah,
it, and
that helped. But yeah, otherwise I've got everything on the highest settings. I mean, and it looks great.
yeah,
It just this is obviously the best way to play it. It's so smooth, so clean, great draw distances, the shadows, like the character like everything just looks great.
nice.
So I highly recommend it.
All right,
Of course. I mean,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
third time.
and why not?
And why not?
You know, so and you know, I was talking to somebody about Grand Theft Auto on PC, and the person I was talking to brought up Red Dead Redemption, and they're like, "Someone, you know, there's another Rockstar game. Someone was saying I should play Red Dead Redemption."
Oh my
And I was
God.
like- and I was like, "Oh my God,
Stop whatever you're doing."
That's what I said. I was like, "Stop playing whatever video game you're playing and buy this game and play it from start to finish. Just call into work
such a great
and
experience.
and 100% it." I was like, "It's the best game."
It's the
it
most
came out.
amazing thing.
Yeah. Speaking of the next amazing thing that's supposed to be coming out is Star Wars Battlefront.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well,
Well, sir.
man, EA,
I heard it looks good.
what did we see? We have a Battlefront trailer that was supposed to be what I thought was going to be gameplay footage.
Right.
Wound up being a very pretty CG
Well, it says it was engine footage.
engine footage.
Game engine footage, but
Yeah.
it was not gameplay.
It was not gameplay. Yeah, so it was a fancy computer animated trailer.
Yeah.
And it looked good. Boba Fett was there, and there was the battle on, you know, the Ewoks were fighting, and the Jedi stuff was there, and Snowspeeder stuff was there, and it looks cool. But we didn't see anything
Yeah, you
of
didn't see any
the
gameplay.
game. We just saw what it's potentially going to look
I
like.
think E3, probably.
Yeah, there better be. Oh man, at E3 there better be a goddamn
It's gotta
gameplay
be
trailer.
E3.
Jesus Christ. but yeah, people were upset about it. Also, no single player campaign.
Yeah, the things that the hot buttons right now seem to be the no single player campaign, no space battles,
Yeah.
and what was the other one I just read? No destructible environments.
They said that there's just the right amount of destruction,
Which is fine.
That if something is destroyed, it makes sense that whatever is being destroyed and crumbling apart makes sense that it's being destroyed.
I think people were just anticipating because it was using the same engine as Battlefield, which is known
Yes.
for destruction. I think they were just thinking like, oh, this is going to be just like that, where you could just pretty much destroy anything.
Yeah.
But really, in that game, you can't really either. I mean, there's certain things you cannot. So
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. I don't have a problem with it lacking a single player. Of course, that would have been nice, but I don't really have that big of a problem with that. You know, the no space battles, I think that might come in future
DLCs.
I'll get better.
Well, see, that's the thing that sucks is that it's EA, and it's
Yeah.
the EA of today.
yes.
And so that probably means DLCs, pre-order bonuses,
Yep.
and that sucks. But we're getting a new Star Wars game,
Yeah.
which we really haven't had in a while.
Yeah, and I did see people said, you know what? Just don't buy it.
So yeah, don't pre-order, don't buy it if you don't want.
Don't buy it.
But you know it's going to fucking sell like crazy because everybody's been screaming for a new Battlefield for forever.
Yeah.
Chris was at our friend Chris, life friend of the podcast, was at Star Wars Celebration during the announcement.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what's going to get me to buy a PS4 now.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there you go.
Yeah, because not only did they unveil the Battlefront trailer, they showed a new trailer for Star Wars Force Awakens.
I tell you, I got a nerd erection during that.
What did you think of it?
Fucking loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
amazing.
mean, I'm easy to please though.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars, so like, you show me Han Solo at the end, and I'm gonna get a boner. I mean,
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah, you know, I was talking with Joe of Game Classy at length about it.
Oh,
and
he has issues.
yeah, he's cautiously optimistic about it, I guess. You know, it was kind of the sense he got burned by Phantom Menace and the episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I understand his you know standoffish attitude.
So many
towards
people
it.
are like that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I just there's been a lot of crap in movies lately.
We just like Star Wars.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of crap in entertainment lately.
Right.
At least that's my feeling. There's just been a lot of fucking crap.
Yep.
You know, there's Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, for
Two,
God's
yeah.
sakes. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know, if that's your thing, if you're way into Paul Blart, good for you. But I'm just glad that some mega force of a movie is coming back, and it's.
Yeah.
I don't care about, it's just the nostalgia machine. It's Millennium Falcon, Han Solo, Chewbacca again, blah, 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 blah. I want to see something new and organic. I don't give a fuck. I just want to see the Millennium Falcon just flying around, being badass again, being way cooler than anything else that's in film right now.
Exactly.
That's what I want to see.
Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. I mean, you got the whole crew.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, plus I was really excited. The thing that I noticed between the two trailers, it was towards the end of the first trailer where they show the Millennium Falcon actually fly. And as it comes down, it's flying over a sand dune, and it gets very low to the ground, and you see the vortices kind of shoot out from underneath it, and the sand kind of swirl underneath the Falcon. In this new trailer, you see a TIE fighter inside like a docking bay of a starship, just kind of hovering in place, shooting things. Yeah. But the way it moves is how it would move in space, and you don't see a TIE fighter ever move like this. But it's very cool, and like, it looks even more intimidating.
Yeah,
it
awesome.
looks fucking cool, you know? So not just something that always gets destroyed with one laser blast.
Yeah. That movie has an incredible hype to live up to, but I have a feeling it's gonna pay off. Yeah,
I think so. So there we go. Battlefront E3. I think more questions will be answered. So let's see. Moving on real quick towards the end here. I've got a little retro recap. I made a couple retro finds at the flea market, the good old flea market.
Flea market.
I went with Joe, and I learned a lot about flea marketing.
You never been before, huh?
No.
Did you find some nice collector's plates? NASCAR collector plates?
Oh my god!
I found a lot of
used saddles.
I found a lot of pipe wrenches. Like for some reason,
there's weird old rusty tools.
Old rusty pipe wrenches everywhere.
Old rusty everything.
We're going to bring up Chris for the podcast, but didn't he need a washboard for something?
Yeah, for music.
We are at the perfect place.
Yeah.
You will for sure find a washboard at the Kane County Flea Market.
Yeah, I mean,
we found like 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff, but there's also a lot of cool stuff there too.
I fucking love the flea market.
Oh, it was fun.
It is fun.
Because you find treasures. You found a treasure.
Yes, I found 2 treasures.
Find treasures.
Tell us your treasures.
Yeah, well, I was there. I went with my wife and my daughter were there, and I went with Joe and his family and walked around a little bit, but then a little bit later, Joe and I just went back by ourselves because I wanted a little bit more time to look at stuff. I did find some video game things, but Joe had apparently found the actual video game seller at the flea market, so he took me back there. And yeah, he had quite a setup. There were a lot of people there. He had tons of stuff. Rubbermaid containers full of things, just consoles stacked on top of each other, just all kinds of stuff. But I started digging, and right away I found a Commodore 64. Ooh. And I was very tempted to pick it up because it came with the manual. The guy said it functioned. It was in relatively good shape. So I was thinking about picking it up, but Joe was like, no, don't commit just yet. Look around a little bit more, set that off to the side. That's something you can come back to. I started digging some more. I started digging a little bit more. And lo and behold, at the bottom of one of these Rubbermaid containers, I find a complete hyperscan system, which is known as probably the worst game console ever made.
Never even heard of it.
Like ever made, like ever. But it's because of that reputation. Like I can't have a game console collection where I celebrate game hardware, and where I think I have what I consider some of the best systems ever released. I have to have what's considered the worst.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
So, and it's a crazy system. It was released in 2006. It's a little disk drive, and all you do, it was made by Mattel. It's closed. You open it up, and on one side you have a disk drive. On the other side you have this red scanner. And what you get is a game CD, and then with your game CD you get these collectible cards, like trading cards. So when you put the game in and you start playing, the game will ask you at certain points, like I'm playing X-Men, which is a fighting game, like a brawler, like a Street Fighter game with X-Men characters. In order to choose a character, you scan a character card. So I have to take a card and scan it over the hyperscan, and then Wolverine appears in the game. Cool. Yeah. Then I can rank up his abilities with my abilities card. Ooh. I can then scan my abilities card, and then he gets buffed in certain areas. Attack and defense is buffed. And then after that, when I'm in the game, if I'm fighting somebody, finishing moves are not like fatalities, like Mortal Kombat. Instead of saying finish him, the game will say end it.
Scan it.
Yeah, so then you have to go up, and in order to pull off the move, you have to take your finishing move card and scan it over the scanner.
Fuck.
How many arms does this system think that you have?
Well, that's the thing is the video cable is actually mounted inside the system. It's not something that you plug in separately, which means, and it's super long. So what they want you to do is to have it like right in your lap while you're playing with this thing. Wow. So you can have your cards right there and just quickly scan stuff.
Oh my god!
So because
How would that work for like multiplayer? Would you have to have two systems?
No, you can have two controllers, but you'd have to have it sitting right next to each other.
Wow.
So. And I haven't played any I haven't played with a second player. I do have two controllers now because it was a complete system. So, but it is crazy. The scanner doesn't really work 100%, but even on brand new systems, it doesn't work 100%. Like, you're supposed to be able to just wave the card over it and it just takes the data and reads it. I have to pretty much put my card down on it and scan it, like shake it back and forth.
like the self-checkouts at the Jewel.
Yeah, which is crazy because if I wave my card over it, it actually makes a sound of rejecting the card. It'll actually say,
no something's happening.
Yeah, it'll be like, and I'll be like, you know the card is there.
Yeah.
Like, you read the card, you realize it's there, but and enough so that you generate a sound to say, no, I don't like that scan. If you can read it, then it's there, and you know it's there, then read the fucking card.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating. I'm like, why would they even have a sound to reject the card?
Right.
Then you know it's there. Now you know you're just being lazy.
That's funny.
So there were only 5 games released for this thing. I believe it's only 5. There's another Marvel superheroes game. There's a Ben 10, like the Nickelodeon cartoon Ben 10.
Yeah, this is interesting. It came out in 2006.
2006.
This wasn't like something from like the 90s.
No, this is like competing
is
like
new.
PS2 stuff type
Weird.
competition. The games don't look terrible, but they're kind of bad.
Yeah.
They're certainly playable. The controllers are awful. They're modeled after the PS2 controller, but they're just terrible. They're clunky. They're cheap. The whole system feels cheap. It's a weird, crazy little system, and it's kind of fun to play, but it's very easy to collect for at this moment because if you purchase games for it online, they're $1 to $2, and everything that
all of the 5 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a complete Hyperscan collection when this is all said and done. The games, though, when you buy a game disc, they come with 4 cards to like start you off. So it's a game and then a starter set. So you can actually play the game and do some scanning.
Right.
But then you have to buy booster sets, which comes with all the rest of the cards for all the rest of the content
It's like
in
the
the game.
Skylanders of the time.
It is. They were trying to cash in on trading cards and video games and make this weird fucking shouldn't exist type of
monster.
thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I've been buying these booster packs, and every one that I've gotten, factory sealed.
Amazing.
I can't open them.
That's awesome.
Damn it.
And I have to be the only person in the world that is going to say, I want so badly to play these Hyperscan games, but I can't because they're factory sealed.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy. Even my PS4, because I moved it out of the way so I could play my...
Wow.
I went to People Play Games, so I picked up some NTSC J games. So I could play my Hello Kitty Dreamcast.
Oh my God.
So I had my Hello Kitty Dreamcast, and then I had my Hyperscan sitting next to each other. And then when I wanted to play my Mortal Kombat X on PS4, I went up and I was like, well, shit, now I got to move my Hello Kitty Dreamcast and my Hyperscan to make room for my
Damn
PS4.
Jeez, first world problems.
It's hard to be Pat.
It was crazy. It's like this is the strangest combination of systems I've ever had to interchange. So,
But you found another Sony system while you were there.
yeah, I did. I found a brick PS2 system, complete with modem,
That's amazing.
and a flip-up travel screen, LCD screen, 5-inch screen that flips up, which is a lot like the PS1 screen.
Yeah, I've never seen the PS2. I've seen the PS1 one.
That's why it was so amazing. I saw it there, and I was like, holy shit, I've never even seen a fucking screen for a PS2 before. But yeah, it's styled just like the system itself. So when it sits on top of the system, it covers it completely.
Amazing.
So it makes it a beast of a PS2. It's huge. It's heavy as hell. I think it's bigger than the Sega CD with the 32X.
Yeah, it looks
on it.
monster.
Yeah, it's definitely heavier for sure. When I saw some of this stuff too, when I saw the Hyperscan, even I forgot I was at a flea market and that you're supposed to barter with these people. So I saw it and I was like, oh my God, there's a Hyperscan in here. And Joe immediately almost like slapped my hand, like, don't get
Be cool.
Don't be
Just be
so
cool,
excited.
man.
I'm
Just
like,
be
shut
cool.
up, man. And so I was able to negotiate a little bit. I talked him down. I paid like $20 for it. It was originally
not
$30.
too bad.
So I was able to talk him down a little bit, but yeah, Joe definitely shamed me for my lack of flea marketing skills.
Yeah, that's
So-
right. Everybody
It's
was
okay.
a rookie once.
Yeah.
It's all right. He'll be on Game Classy. He'll hear this and he'll shred me.
So there's
So-
some Warhammer movie coming out. He's probably excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anything Warhammer, they
Anything,
love.
really, they love
Warhammer's
that.
probably the best game in all of tabletop gaming. I'll say.
I heard it's the
I
greatest.
hear it's the
that
greatest.
next to Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly and Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and ladders.
So yeah, those were my flea market finds. So
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
pretty pumped.
Well, the next time you go to the flea market, call us.
I sent you a text message.
Yeah, but it was the night that Doug and Christina had moved that weekend.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so they don't listen to this podcast, I don't think. They didn't unpack for shit. So we had to go help unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you guys are active flea market.
We
Ooh,
love
yeah,
the flea market.
We love the
Patrons.
flea market.
Yeah.
One of us loves to collect Disney pins. Me.
I
And
have a large collection of Yoda pins. Star Wars Yoda
it's
pins.
nothing compared to my collection. I'm just,
They don't make as many as what you have.
just saying.
I did get a awesome bag of some
Stitch pins?
sweetened sugar almonds.
Oh yeah.
Sweet and sugar almonds.
Yeah, those.
Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, the warm nuts.
Yeah,
cinnamon
the warm
nuts?
nuts.
Yeah, those
the
warm nuts. I always want to get those when I'm there.
Yeah.
I should get
it was
these.
quite
But
delicious.
there's so much other food that's there that's
know.
delicious too.
Yeah,
The
cheese
lemonade.
curds with buffalo.
It's
buffalo
like, it's
Yeah.
like going to a state fair.
It
It
is.
is.
It is. And there's some cool stuff there, and you realize, like, oh, I want that. And then you're like, I would probably end up selling that at a flea market in
Yeah.
5-10 years.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, we bought our kitchen table and chairs there before we moved into our house, or right after we moved into our house, because there was a guy who did custom building.
It was
Yeah.
like a beautiful hand built.
Yeah,
set.
it was so beautiful. We
It
loved
was
it.
really inexpensive compared to what you'd find in a store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was unique. You know, it was
Yeah.
cool.
But then we traded it out for my hand shitty built corner nook.
No, this is fine Italian craftsmanship.
Fine
Italian.
craftsmanship.
But yeah, the flea market, a lot of fun. Saw a lot
Yeah.
of great toys there. You know, a lot
Flea
of
market
old
is always fun.
Transformers. Yeah,
Flea
it was a good
market's
time.
always a good time.
So it was fun. But I think that's gonna do it.
That's
for this
it.
episode
Yeah.
of Play On. Yeah, we did it.
We'll see you guys so soon.
Yeah, stay tuned
C2E2.
for the big Planet Arbitrary C2B2 cast. It'll be coming up after the expo. Hope to see you guys out there. If you see
Yeah.
us, definitely say hello. We'll be wearing all of our Planet Arbitrary shirts and gear and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
congratulations to all the winners of the 3-day passes. Tony G and I can't remember the name of the other winner.
And
but,
the other winner,
Angela.
Yeah, and there were winners on Game Classy as well. They gave away some 3-day passes too. So
Angela.
Yeah.
Who's the boss?
Yes. Thank you, Annie.
come on, Angela.
Angela, come on.
And for all those of you who don't live in Chicago, you will look to fly into O'Hare or Midway.
Yeah.
And then you can take, the blue line or
Yeah.
the orange line or one of the colored lines.
Yep.
Thanks, Ann.
I don't know the city, but come to C2E2 because it's going to be the most fun of your whole life.
Yep.
Yeah, and for more information on guests and all of those people that are going to be there, events, cosplay stuff, you can check out c2e2.com for all of that information, and you can purchase tickets at the expo to get in if you'd like, if you waited or you didn't win.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to check out planetarbitrary.com for all your Planet Arbitrary needs. You can check out our sister podcast, Game Classy, with Joe and Steve every Saturday. Every Sunday. All things tabletop gaming, Kickstarters.
Every other Sunday.
Yeah, every other Sunday. All tabletop gaming, Warhammer, Magic, The Gathering, Pokemon,
Magic the
you know,
Gathering.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Guess who?
All the stuff in tabletop gaming. So that's with Joe and Steve. Comic Book Logic is back. They just posted their latest episode. They did, what was it, Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2.
That was their last episode. Comic Book Logic with Joe and Kevin. They're back on a podcast together, so be sure to check that out.
Yay.
Be sure to check out the Play On Podcast on Twitter, at Play On Podcast. You can follow me at Pat's Game Reviews. You can follow Anthony
Snoogans to you.
and Annie. You can reach via the USPS.
Alta Vista.
You can come see me at C2 motherfucking E2.
Yeah, you can see her.
You can listen from my voice.
Touch her.
Please don't touch me. There's
No touching. No touching.
No touching.
Don't touch. And then be sure to check out all of our friends, gamecollecting.net. Be sure to join their Facebook group. It is extremely active, super informative, a lot of fun. So if you're on Facebook, join gamecollecting.net's Facebook group. Be sure to check out Reddit R Game Collecting. Everybody on Reddit R Game Collecting, be sure to check that out. It's a great little group of game collectors. Lots of great information there as well. Be sure to check out the Play On Podcast Flipboard for all the information we talk about on the podcast. You can find it on the Flipboard along with anything else interesting in gaming that we find. You can find it there. Our friends at OTC Video Games and funstock.co.uk.
Yay.
If you are going to purchase anything online from funstock.co.uk, enter the discount code PLANET for 5% off your order. Any online purchase, you get 5% off. If you are shopping on OTC Video Games for some retro games, manuals, or boxes for your collection, you can type in the discount code PLAYON. Is it PLAYON or PLAYON
Play on
Podcast?
podcast.
PLAYON Podcast, and you'll get 5% off your order there as well. So you can save some money with the PLAYON Podcast. So be sure to check those out as well. Follow us on iTunes. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but yeah, I think that's about it. We'll see you guys at C2E2.
Peace out.
Play on.
Play on.
Bye, on.